This is Patricia Clark. Wrack Line. Epigraph. All I learned is what I love. Retke. 1. If you go down to walk beside the Grand River, do you see it? What's cast up? Branches, twigs, a 2x4, a plastic length of dental floss, a wedge of styrofoam, a shell or two. Here's what high water left, all in a straight line, not ruler straight, but arranged, piled ephemeral art from high water. How water casts out what it can't use, as though to say, you take this. Your wish for other things to be cast out, the chemicals dumped, wastewater from fields and lawns, runoff phosphates, PFAS, oils and grease harmful to living things. Here, take this. 2. Everywhere it laps in, touches land, the lake water makes wetlands, especially waters blown by wind, steady easterlies, the shore soaked, low spots in soft ground where deer step, make trails, and every spring warblers fly in, find a marsh early May, without fail. Groups of birds, tired, sometimes in a flock so large they show up on radar. Imagine all these drawn by water, and Juneberry, dogwood budding out when insects hatch in sequence. Later, Joe Pyeweed waves its large flat clusters, spotted stems, food for butterflies, hummingbirds. Nearby, milkweed that will leave its gray pods clacking in wind. 3. The imp of the divine lives along the river, democratic, among the tumbled chunks of concrete, trees broken in half by last year's storm, the asphalt path made smooth so the blind can walk there and veterans from the home nearby. Why do you linger? To see how wind frets the water, to idle away an hour or two. 4. Along the Rogue River in Rockford, Michigan, a company hires workers to tan leather, shaping it into shoes. It's a business of vats and liquid, soaking, waiting, turning, draining, drying, taking time. Beam house and tan yard, first stage, second stage. How did it work? Wooden vats, trenches, before rules on the environment. Did workers ever object or quit? One man slams his hat down. I don't think we should pour this stuff into the river. It stinks. 5. Changed its name in the 1950s from Wolverine to Wolverine Worldwide to show its scope. Made by 3M in 1952, Scotchgard, to coat and repel water and dirt. Debuted in 1958, their famous hush puppies, and soon 1 in 10 adults claim to have a pair. They warned in 1999, Wolverine Worldwide, that the coating had dangers. Still, the dumping went on, scraps of leather and discarded soles thrown as fill along House Street, along Rum Creek. Wolverine said they didn't know. Vinyl chloride, trichloroethylene, mercury, chromium, and lead. One of the attorneys asked, would you live downriver, allow your kids to play in or drink that water? What if your house relied on a well? 6. Environmental news. The number of birds in the United States and Canada has declined by 3 billion or 29% over the past half century, scientists find. The New York Times, September 19, 2019. The skies are emptying. June 2019 was hottest on record for the globe. Antarctic sea ice coverage shrank to new record low. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, July 28, 2019. Under the topsoil at the 15-acre site where Wolverine Worldwide spent 100 years using vast amounts of chemicals to convert animal hides into leather, high levels of volatile contaminants like vinyl chloride and trichloroethylene can be found. Toxic metals like mercury, chromium, and lead are confirmed at high levels in the groundwater and sediment in the adjacent Rogue River, including at the spot where people regularly launch canoes and kayaks alongside the heavily used White Pine Trail. MLive, Michigan, March 25, 2019. 7. You never had a chance to speak, pressed under and down by weight of water. 8. Because living near the airport runway's end, they got used to the racket of jet engines, because the planes came in low, flaps down, because they were travelers to the east, to Europe, because they liked imagining the passengers belted in, leaning back with closed eyes, because they too dreamed of Paris, New York, Rome, because one morning Nancy E. went out walking Bella and found cream-colored slime along the creek, because de-icing the silver birds in winter was needed, because propylene glycol starts off pink, because airport officials said they had reduced the number of gallons from 80,000 gallons to 6,000, because it was organic de-icing liquid, because the amphibians had birth defects, because the peepers didn't start up in spring, because no amount of runoff was safe, because, think, would you pour this into water? 9. Off the main path, I veer off asphalt and walk closer to the river, avoiding dogs with my dog. It looks arranged by an artist of the ephemeral, perhaps Andy Goldsworthy, sticks, twigs, branches, leaves, eelgrass, a 6-inch wide heap of what's been cast up by high water, coughed out. Not accidental, thus here to speak to me. Up above in trees, still bare, red-winged blackbirds make their first cries. First, here, mate-seeking, nest-building, harbingers. We kick along, the black and white dog, all nose, ecstatic, nostrils and muzzle flaring, vibrating. Her sensory attention astonishes me. As I count lockdown months, lament, worry, fret, finally yielding to what I see, admire. Nature insistently pointing to spring. The warblers back and singing right on schedule, and Baltimore orioles high in the canopy their melodic songs. Yes, here, not going anywhere, and back, swaying in the high branches, leaves about to unfurl. Patricia Clark.